Fiscal federalism in refine of liberalization and globalization federalism. It is a system of government in which power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. Federalism is a system government in which the same territory is controlled by two levels of government. Governments at the level of provinces/states. Both enjoy power independent of the other. State government has power of its own and not answerable to the center. Federalism is the sharing of power between local and national governments. Defining the relationship between the national government and state governments has been, and continues to be, a major issue in the nation's history. The federal government tells a state government what its activities and policies must be in the form of mandates and conditions of aid. Features of federalism has two/more levels of government. Each level has its own power or jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is specified by the Constitution and there is constitutional guarantee of authority. Constitutional provisions can be changed only with the consent of both levels of government. Court interprets the Constitution and powers of different levels of government. Supreme Court is the umpire if disputes arise with different levels of government. Sources of revenue are clearly specified. Objectives of federalism: to safeguard/promote the unity of the country, making ground for diversified situation. To accommodate regional diversity. To make trust and agreement to live together. To create the competitive and balanced development of the nation. Types of federalism. Holding together federation. In this type, powers are shared between various constituent parts to accommodate the diversity in the whole entity. Coming together federation. In this type, independent states come together to form a larger unit. Difference between federations of coming together type and holding together type. Coming together federation, holding together federation. Under this, independent states come together on their own to form a bigger unit. Under this, a large country decides to divide its powers between the constituent units and the national government. All constituent states usually have equal powers and the states enjoy certain amount of autonomy. Under this, central government tends to be more powerful. The main aim of the federation is to pool their sovereignty and maintain their separate identity to increase their security. In this type of federation, there is an absence of pooling sovereignty and maintaining identity. Some examples are USA, Australia, some examples are India, Belgium, and Switzerland. Spain. Necessity of federalism: protecting liberty, dispersing power to different level, increasing participation of people/community, improving efficiency of resources allocation. Ensuring policy responsiveness, encouraging policy innovation, managing conflict. Some important reservations to address the national issues. Permits local leaders to implement national policy. Equal distribution of national benefit, balance in regional development. Introduction to fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism refers to the division of fiscal responsibilities and resources between the central government and the state governments in a federal system. It involves the sharing of financial resources, taxation powers, and expenditure responsibilities between the central government and the state governments. The aim of fiscal federalism is to ensure an efficient and equitable distribution of resources and responsibilities, and to promote regional development and stability in a federal system. It ensures that there is a balance between the need for national integration and the preservation of regional diversity. Fiscal federalism also allows for the efficient allocation of resources and helps to promote accountability, transparency, and good governance at all levels of government. There are two types of fiscal federalism: vertical and horizontal. Vertical fiscal imbalance. This refers to the imbalance in the distribution of financial resources between the central government and state governments. The central government is responsible for raising the majority of revenues through taxes and other sources, while the state governments have limited sources of revenue. This vertical fiscal imbalance leads to a situation where the central government has greater fiscal powers and resources than the state governments. Horizontal fiscal imbalance. This refers to the imbalance in the distribution of financial resources among the state governments. Due to differences in population, economic growth, and other factors, some states have higher revenue generating capacity than others. This leads to a situation where some states have more fiscal resources than others, resulting in a horizontal fiscal imbalance. The Finance Commission plays a crucial role in addressing horizontal fiscal imbalance by recommending the distribution of financial resources among the state governments based on various criteria, such as population, area, tax efforts, and socio-economic development indicators. Central transfer to state. Central transfers to states refer to the transfer of financial resources from the central government to the state governments in a federal system. These transfers are an important component of fiscal federalism as they help to address vertical fiscal imbalance by providing resources to the state governments to meet their expenditure requirements. The central transfers also help in promoting fiscal discipline and ensuring that the states have access to the necessary financial resources to undertake developmental activities. Types of central transfer. There are two types: statutory transfers. These are transfers that are mandated by law, such as the share of states in the central taxes, which are distributed among the states based on the recommendations of the Finance Commission. These transfers are based on the principles of equity and efficiency, and aim to address vertical fiscal imbalance by ensuring that states have access to a share of the central government's resources. Discretionary transfers. These are transfers that are made at the discretion of the central government, such as grants and aid, loans, and other forms of financial assistance. These transfers are made to support specific developmental programs or to address specific issues, such as natural disasters or infrastructure development. Discretionary transfers are used to promote horizontal fiscal balance and ensure that states with lower revenue-generating capacity have access to the necessary financial resources. Performance-based transfer, a type of discretionary transfer that is made by the central government to the state governments based on their performance in achieving specific developmental goals. These grants are designed to incentivize the state governments to undertake developmental activities and achieve specific targets in a timely and effective manner. The criteria for performance-based grants include a range of factors, such as the state's performance in achieving specific developmental goals, such as health and education outcomes, poverty reduction, infrastructure development, and other indicators of social and economic development. The criteria also take into account the state's fiscal discipline, transparency, and accountability in the utilization of funds. The performance-based grants are an important tool for promoting fiscal federalism as they encourage the state governments to focus on specific developmental goals and achieve them in a timely and effective manner. The grants also promote fiscal discipline and accountability in the utilization of funds, which is essential for ensuring the effective utilization of public resources. Overall, performance-based grants play a crucial role in promoting the efficient and equitable distribution of financial resources. Impact of fiscal federalism. Positive impact. Fiscal federalism promotes decentralization, which enables local governments to make decisions that are more responsive to the needs of the citizens. It enhances the efficiency of public service delivery by enabling local governments to tailor services to local needs. It encourages healthy competition between states and leads to better economic outcomes by incentivizing them to improve their tax systems, investment climate, and public services. It fosters greater accountability and transparency in government, as local governments are more accountable to their citizens. Negative impact of fiscal federalism. Fiscal federalism can lead to vertical and horizontal imbalances, where certain states may have greater access to financial resources than others. It can also lead to duplication of efforts and inefficiencies in public service delivery, as different levels of government may have overlapping responsibilities. It may lead to increased administrative and coordination costs as local governments require technical expertise and support from the central government. It may also lead to political tensions between the central and state governments, especially in cases where they have different political orientations. Challenges of fiscal federalism. There is a lack of clarity in the assignment of fiscal responsibilities between the central and state governments, which leads to overlapping and duplication of roles. Another challenge is the lack of coordination and cooperation between the central and state governments, which results in the suboptimal utilization of resources and inefficient service delivery. The absence of a comprehensive and integrated approach to fiscal management and planning is also a challenge that needs to be addressed. Lack of coordination and cooperation between the central government and the states. Lack of transparency and accountability in the management of public finances. Growing demands of the states for more autonomy and greater control over their resources. Mitigation of challenges of fiscal federalism. Promote greater decentralization of fiscal powers and responsibilities to the state and local governments. This can be achieved by strengthening the capacity of state governments to undertake fiscal management and planning. Another solution is to establish clear and transparent criteria for the distribution of fiscal resources between the central and state governments. This can help reduce the vertical and horizontal imbalances and promote greater equity in the distribution of resources. A comprehensive and integrated approach to fiscal management and planning, which involves all levels of government, can also help overcome the challenges in fiscal federalism. This approach can ensure the efficient utilization of resources and effective service delivery. Recommendation for effective central transfer. Rationalization of central transfers. The rationalization of central transfers to ensure that the state governments have access to the necessary financial resources to undertake developmental activities. The central government should provide grants in aid and performance-based grants to the state governments based on their developmental needs and performance. Strengthening of state finance commissions. Strengthening of state finance commissions to ensure that the state governments have a greater say in the allocation of financial resources. The state finance commissions should be given greater autonomy and resources to undertake their functions effectively. Performance-based grants. The introduction of performance-based grants to incentivize the state governments to undertake developmental activities and achieve specific targets in a timely and effective manner. Fiscal federalism and good governance. Fiscal federalism plays an important role in good governance by promoting democratic values, ensuring accountability, and encouraging competition among states. The decentralization of power through fiscal federalism enhances public participation and transparency, leading to better governance. It allows for greater flexibility and responsiveness to local needs, resulting in the efficient utilization of resources and effective delivery of public services. The role of fiscal federalism in good governance. The decentralized approach through fiscal federalism ensures that resources are allocated and utilized in a more equitable and efficient manner, which promotes social welfare. The effectiveness of fiscal federalism in promoting good governance depends on the proper implementation of policies and the efficient management of resources. The government needs to ensure the effective implementation of policies at the local level, address regional disparities, and promote interstate cooperation to realize the full potential of fiscal federalism in promoting good governance. The success of fiscal federalism in promoting good governance depends on the effective implementation of policies, proper coordination among different levels of government, and the capacity of local governments to manage resources. There is a need to strengthen institutional capacity, improve governance frameworks, and build trust among different levels of government to realize the potential of fiscal federalism in promoting good governance. By providing a framework for decentralization, promoting transparency and accountability, and encouraging competition among states, fiscal federalism can ensure efficient resource. Ways for effective fiscal federalism. There is a need for a more collaborative approach between the central government and the states. The central government needs to work closely with the states to identify and address the challenges and find sustainable solutions. The focus should be on building capacity at the state level to improve the management of public finances, increase transparency and accountability, and enhance the delivery of public services. There is a need to make a balance between devolution of powers and resources to the states and maintaining the integrity of the country as a whole. Fiscal federalism in liberalization and globalization context need to increase the strength through the participation of people in development. Need to be strong at all levels to minimize the negative effect of liberalization and globalization. Need to be adjust with democratic norms and values.